So I'm autistic and I've been playing the Bazaar lately. And I get a bit obsessed about calculating, like, my probability to win, how much DPS I'm doing against bots. Like, very good resources, by the way. I'll link them. Like, Bazaar DB has, like, all the events here, so you know deterministically what you're gonna get. All the monsters with, like, all their abilities and stuff. There might be better resources. I use Bazaar DB, and also how Bazaar is really good for cards. Um, but yeah, so I try to calculate all this stuff, and one thing that is hard to calculate is the storm. And I tried looking on the internet for any kind of article or documentation about how the storm works and how much damage it does, but I didn't find anything. So I just am going off of is that a hand lock there? Where was I? Yeah, so I calculate burn and it's hard. So I made this thing. So I've marked it in sections. So like the blue section is the time, the red section is, and this is the important column, is the amount of total damage you're gonna take by each second, and I'll go into what exactly this means so that there's not any uh, ambiguity. So I'll go into the seconds, but so this is an estimate of the damage you're gonna take, and this is for the purpose of like doing some mental math in your head. Uh, if you don't want to like come to this sheet and have to check exactly how much damage it is each time, um, it might be easier to just do it in your head if you're good at mental math. And I am explaining sort of the math here, and I'll get into that. This will be the main meat of the video. But if you've just come here because I don't know, I mean, it's a spreadsheet. It's pretty easy to read. All you need is this part basically. Like you can just select this, Control 0, and you're a happy boy. But we're gonna get into the interesting stuff because I'm a mathematician, so I like math. So how does the seconds work, right? So 30 seconds, this is just the start of the storm, right? So nothing happens, zeros. This is the amount of damage you're taking between 30 and 31 seconds. So between that period of time, you take 4 damage. It's 1 tick 4 times, right? 1 damage 4 times. Then on the second, and I can show you actually. So pay attention to the storm. I'll put it on slow speed, and you will see. Now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's been 1 second. So that's the first instance of 4 damage. Now that happens again on the second, giving you a total of 8 damage to that point. So by 32 seconds, you've taken 8 damage. Now here it starts to ramp up. So it ramps up by 13, going up to 17, giving you a total of 25 to that point. So by 34 seconds is 100 damage, 265, 493, 793, 1165. So if you had 1000 health, that means the storm would kill you somewhere around 37 point something seconds. So you can take that to the bank and just calculate how much damage you're going to be able to do to the bot before the storm comes. If like the bot has Z DPS or something. So that's the video. That's how you read this table. Just ignore all this stuff and just read these numbers. And there you are. Now, if you want to do this in your head, like I kind of want to train myself to do it, I've done the same thing for like burn damage, and that's a bit more complicated. It's like a whole flow chart of how large are your items. If they're this large, then do this, but it's actually pretty manageable. Like I can do burn damage in my head pretty accurately. I might make a video on this if you guys are interested. But the mental math here, so pretty simple. You start off with 25, so you just need to remember that the first 2 seconds nothing happens. On the third second, basically nothing happens, and from the fourth second onwards, that's where the damage starts to come in. So you sort of do, like, you can even ignore this 25 if you can't be asked. Like, just forget about the 25 and just remember, okay, fourth second or a third second at 33 seconds, the storm starts, right? The real storm, when it starts to ramp up, that starts at about 33 seconds, which is also a pretty good nugget of knowledge to know. So you just take the 33, and at 34 seconds, that's 1 tick, right? One tick of damage gone. Now, by 35 5 seconds, what's happened is this one tick, if you look up where my cursor is, this one tick was on 34, and now it's increased by another 75, so you've got 75 here that's just increased, and the one from before. And what happens is, on each successive second, you're building up like this pyramid, right? So this is the damage on 34, this is the damage on 35, this is the damage on 36. And each one of those squares has like a height of 75, because that's the amount of damage by which it's going up. So all of those represent 75 damage. So 75. So actually, I should say the area of these squares is 75, because they just represent a tick of damage. So 75, 75, 75. All of those are 75. So what you can do is just sort of, let's say you have 3,000 health, right? I'm not looking at the spreadsheet. 3,000 health, divide that by 75. 75 times 4 is 300. So 3,000, so that means 3,000 divided by 300 is 10. So multiply that by the 4, gives you 40. So you need about 40 squares. Now I watch Cracking the Cryptic, so I know that the magic number is 45. So I am going to die somewhere between 8 and 9 seconds. So 38. So 33 plus 8 is 41. Between 41 and 42, I think, is the 3,000 points. So obviously I did this a bit slow. It might have literally just been faster to alt tab to this thing and just check the actual value. But it's kind of cool. The more you train doing it in your head, the faster you get. So now that I know that I'll die somewhere between 41 and 42 seconds, I can calculate my DPS and be happy. This here, by the way, is just the accuracy comparing basically this number minus this number. So you can see it undershoots it by 18. That's what this means. And this is just this 18 as a percentage of the total, or of the actual damage. So you know, as you go down, these numbers look very big, but they're actually a very small percentage. So you can estimate these numbers quite accurately. And I'm rambling at this point, so bye.